When we received the compensation, when we of course came into Season 2, we were given the off-road Porsche 911. And today we're going to start things off jumping into this one. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to Test Drive Limited Solar Crown, and welcome back to Ibiza. So yeah, we're going to kick things off today in the Porsche 911. We've obviously tuned this one, we've put all the upgrades onto it, and we've built this into quite a formidable off-road cross-country vehicle. Going to test it out in the first race for today, but like we have done throughout the course of this week, with the exception of yesterday with the live event, we're going to try out all the new races across a different variety of cars. Kicking things off with the Camber Special, of course a cross-country race, 21% gravel, 21% asphalt, 79% gravel, cross-country, and we are 550 to 650 RP for this one. The Porsche, you know, we can't really get up towards those higher levels, so we know we're coming into this one with a bit of a handicap. We're down on power, quote unquote, but we'll see, that doesn't really happen. A little bit of glitch at the start of this one, the Alpine jumping right through the pack, but the AI just cannot start this race off. Get to the left hand side, past the pack. The AI crashing again there. We want to try and get around those guys nice and early, but it does leave us with a nice open track to power through here. It's of course a sprint. We're not going to revisit these parts. Nice little handbrake turn into the first hairpin. But as soon as we can get past the rest of the AI and other players, it does apply, because everybody seems to get tangled up at the start of this race. It does leave us with a nice open cross-country track. Now, I don't expect this video to do well today. For some reason, you guys aren't enjoying the cross-country races. I personally absolutely love them. I think they're some of the best races in game. Now over in Ibiza with this motocross style track, stay on the right hand side, just a word of warning, there's a large bump at the end of this one. But over in the Ibiza map with this cross-country style track with the new mud road surface, or mud surface, I think it opens up the door for even better cross-country races. We of course seen yesterday with the live event, which was of course a spoiler to a little later in today's video, in the Lamborghini Urus. I have had such a good time with the cross-country races, and it hasn't stopped over here. So hopefully this video does a bit better. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the cross-country races. Let's talk a little bit about this race and talk a little bit about the Porsche 911. Now of course this was compensation. It's not to everybody's pleasing. I totally understand that. People wanted credits, people wanted this, that and the next thing. Just at the end of the line, guys, this has been the compensation, so let's enjoy what we have. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've seen a few people in the comments yesterday also enjoying the 911. It's capable, it's fun, it's again something different. I'm actually quite enjoying using it. It's a bit bouncy, but that's the way I've tuned that one. There's no reason behind that. Overall, Porsche 911 off-road vehicle is more than capable of being a cross-country racer in this game. We've only got about 15% left of this one, guys. We've not even commentated over this race. I do apologise, but like we can see, the 911, you can throw it into these corners and it's far more than capable. Just let the back end flow through them all, guys. Get on that power nice and early, kind of what we spoke about yesterday. And this thing is absolutely capable of winning out these races, like we're just about to do here in the first race for today. Now, let's talk a little bit about the compensation. People were unhappy that they weren't given maybe credits or whatever else. What largely can you expect as we do just try to cross those boulders? What largely can we expect? It's compensation. It's something we never had the day before. I personally am happy with this one. It's a new car that I didn't have to buy. I overall am happy with that one. But we'll push on to race number 2, Fighting the Giants, a 2.6 mile, 55% asphalt, 45% gravel, cross-country, 650 to 800 RP. And we'll jump into another cross-country vehicle for today, and we will jump into the Range Rover Sport SVR. Now this, for the longest time, I have touted as the best cross-country vehicle in game. I know a lot of people have a massive affinity to the Aero buggy. It's just not to my liking. I don't like using it. This has been my go-to for cross-country races in the C category, and it kind of proves its point. The torque it has, the power it has, and the handling this thing has. The Range Rover Sport is simply fantastic. Into the heavy braking zones, it stops on a dime. Coming out of them, it's got more power than you could ever imagine to launch us out of these corners. Then again, like we spoke about, the handling, this thing just turns exactly where you want it to go. Drifting around the big left-hander, stopping into these tight left-hand hairpins, maybe a little bit too tight there. And then you come over to your different road surface. Whilst we're on the off-road tyres, it still manages to lay down the power quite well. fairly well around some of these tighter corners, the Range Rover Sport for me has been the go-to car in the C category. Into a right-hand hairpin just here. We're not going as tight to the corners as we need to. We've already got a huge lead on the rest of the pack, but that's perfectly fine. We can see this race in particular, which I actually do quite enjoy, the quick changes between off-road, on-road, off-road, on-road. It brings a total different dynamic to the game, and I actually think it's a really nice touch. It keeps us on our toes. Yes, some of these cross-country races, the AI don't tend to keep up with us all too well as we kind of go wide on the new mud surface, which I absolutely love. I was looking forward to trying out this surface, and it did not disappoint. But on these cross-country races, the AI typically don't really give us all too much of a challenge when we come up against another player, sometimes a different story. So having the cross between gravel, tarmac, tarmac to gravel, or to mud now, it keeps us on our toes, and it keeps these races unbelievably exciting. As we do come up this little hill here, want to get on the brakes just a little bit early. As we come out, we can get back on the power on the tarmac, but coming up to the top of that little tunnel, the slide that we actually experience is very much surprising. We're not far off this one, but about 15% again, guys. We're kind of blasting through the races today. It's passing by quicker than I really wanted it to. Thoroughly enjoyed carrying out these races, and the commentary is not really doing it much justification, so apologies on that one. We go a little bit heavy into that little chicane right there. We do end up crashing into the wall, unfortunately, but like we can see, it's been a breeze once again. The races that we've had so far, number one, absolutely loved the races, loved them. The format, the layouts, the switches between tarmac and gravel, no complaints from me whatsoever. 10 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned for the off-road cross-country races on the Ibiza map. Secondly, the AI model, yes, it could still be doing with a bit of a buffer for me personally. You guys might be different, I don't know, but it could be a little bit more challenging. That's as much as I'm going to say on that one. But overall, the new races that we have got here on the Ibiza map, I am thoroughly enjoying. But to the spoiler, of course, if you guys did check out yesterday's live event video, we will get over to the spoiler now, and it is the Lamborghini Urus. I bought the car quite a while ago, and I just could not gel with that one. So we are going to come over to the Yermo circuit, a 2-lap, 100% gravel race for 650 to 800 RP cross-country category, and we are going to jump into the Lamborghini Urus. Now, where we are positioned on the map right now on this motocross style track is where I tuned this Urus, and I now firmly believe that this is the best off-road car in game. Beats the Centurion, beats the Range Rover Sports, beats the Ford F-150s. Like we can see, it launches off the line fantastically well. I've got the gearbox ratios very short here, so we can use as much as the gearbox as possible. Drifting around that first left-hander, pushing through the gears. Down the little dip there, we can see the suspension absorbs it so fantastically well. Over that little jump there, into the right-hander. The suspension of this thing, with the rebound and the suspension size set as it is, it just handles all of these bumps, dips and curves so fantastically well. We then come into the power side of things. I've shortened the gearbox down. It is very short. It is very much acceleration based with shorter gear ratios. But we can see when we drag this thing out of the corners, how quickly we're working through the gearbox, yes, but how quickly we're picking up speed, picking up traction due to the vast amount of torque that this Lamborghini Urus has. Lastly, we'll talk about the braking. What more can I say? The brakes on this thing are absolutely ridiculous. At this point, it probably will be around about sport brakes that are fitted to this, but I've changed the ballast up to 75% rear and the brake pressure to around about 450%, and this thing just stops exactly where you want it to stop for the most part. Now we can look at the race itself. Over that big jump there, the back end gets slightly unsettled. I have got this thing unbelievably soft, but the way this bounces across the track is actually beneficial to the race itself. We can see as we come up through these sections, it's fast flowing, tons of action. Down through little dips, the car gets unsettled. We do unfortunately crash into a wall, but largely this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Big power slide around this long sweeping right hander. We do go a little bit wide, but that's the fun and the beauty of off-road racing. And again, we take out that banking there, we barely lose any time whatsoever. Into this right hander, we do go cautiously into it. I am a little bit scared of that outside wall as we come down to the back straight like we kind of had in the earlier video. This time out we reverse. We want to start on the right hand side, work our way over to the middle where we do have once again a big jump right at the end here. Let it settle down, get onto the brakes and negotiate the big sweeping right hander we've got here. Powered down nice and early. Once again working our way back through the gearbox into the left hander, right hander, power down once again, third gear through into fourth gear as we cross into lap number 2, back into the first turn again, a little bit of handbrake, whip the back end round, get on the power and let this thing just push itself out of that first turn, down into the left-hander, a little dip to the left-hand side, over the jump, into the first big sweeping right-hander, almost a bit of a hairpin there. We get through that one nice and quickly. At this point here, I actually got a bit of misdirection on the track, and it actually turned out to be a little bit of a shortcut. They've even probably saved a second or two with a bit of misdirection on the track. I don't know what happened there, but moving on from that, we can see we've got a fantastic lead. We're drifting around these big right-handers. The Urus just soaking everything up with a 25-second lead on the rest of the pack. We'll take that jump once again through the star and the moon just there. Very nice scenery that does surround this track right here. Absolutely love it so far. Now we can punch this one through the air, through the little balloon tunnels, whatever it is they may be. They look pretty cool. Right-hander into the left-hander again, let the back end just swing round on us here, get the power down as we do position into this sweeping right-hander. Again, maybe not taking that one all too well, a bit slow into it, but coming out of it very quickly, over the jump, over the rest of the pack right there actually. The back end stepping out just a little bit as we do land, but as we get the power down, it corrects itself fantastically well. Left-hander dip, right-hander, left-hander, right-hander, slight kink on that one guys, a little bit of caution is required, but we can push this one all the way through here, in through the little kinks. Right-hander, it does get unsettled, we just missed that wall that we did clip out last time. Let's let the back end flow right round here, four-wheel drift, 43-second lead on the rest of the pack. Absolutely mincing this circuit with no issues whatsoever. Once again, taking that banking is not causing us all too many issues whatsoever. In through the right-hander, we do tap the handbrake, it does slow us down, we do lose the back end a little bit too much here, but as we do come down the back straight, start off on the right-hand side, get round the first water trap through the middle, expect that large bump once again, and we will let the car settle down on the brakes. Ready for that right-hander. Once again, we go a little bit wider this time, but on the power nice and early, let the back end just flow around here. Unfortunately, letting it flow a little bit too much and taking that inside wall, but we do cross the line with a fantastic 4-minute and 35-second time. Now, I really do believe, as you guys will have seen there, that Urus is probably now the best. It's definitely my go-to car in-game for cross-country races. Yes, when the Jaguar F-Type SVR is available, the supercar, I will be using that because it is simply unmatched. But in the C-Class category, that Urus is the one for me. Now, a couple of you guys have asked for the tune for the Urus. I will make sure I post it in yesterday's video and in the description or in the comments. I may be making a pinned comment in today's video, so you guys have also got the tune for the Urus. Go and try that one, guys. I highly recommend it. Initially, I couldn't gel with that car, I just could not get to grips with it, and it had an awful first gear. But I genuinely spent about an hour, maybe even 2 hours tuning that thing to my liking. It may not be to yours, but the tune will be there for you guys to go and try. Now, this has of course been a cross-country video. It may not do very well. Fingers crossed it does, because I thoroughly enjoy these cross-country races, and I hope you guys too. I hope you've enjoyed today's content. Tomorrow we're going to dive into the world of supercars in Ibiza. I hope to see you guys, or I hope you guys watch that video as well. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, guys. Give us a little like, give a little subscribe if you have not already, and stay tuned for more content on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.